Welcome. As you take your seats, we're going to start with the 8 principles on slides on the screen.
The Unitarian Universalist Church of Pensacola, the 8 principles.
Number 1. The inherent worth and dignity of every person.
Number 2, justice, equity, and compassion in human relation.
Number 3, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregation.
Number 4, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning.
Number 5, the right of conscience and the use of democratic process within our congregation and in society at large.
Number 6, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all.
Number 7, respect for the interdependent web of existence,
of which we are all a part.
Number 8, active commitment to dismantle racism and other oppression in ourselves and our institutions.
Welcome, one and all. Gee whiz, if we have food, then a lot of people show up. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Pensacola. We are a lay-led congregation, and so every service is different, and this is no exception. It's a very special service. We want to also thank and welcome the people that are watching us online. And this will be an interactive service, so please participate as you're able. Okay. I'll remind you to silence. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Penny Featherstone. I use the pronouns she and her. And remember to silence your electronics. And want to tell you that you can get more information about our congregation and the Unitarian Universalist Association out in the lobby, and also on our website, which is listed right here. And as far as announcements, we've got 3 first and then some other ones. Today, the children will remain in the service the entire service and go into the potluck and the game day following. Yay! And the next one is a program coming up here on August 31st at 11:30 in the sanctuary after the service. It is called What Do We Do Now? In these troubled times, and distressing times, many people and organizations have come up with practical ways to counter what is being called a rise in fascism, along with a breakdown of law and common decency. This second hour, we will share and discuss options and ways that people can engage and make a difference. For questions, you may talk to Paula Montgomery, right over here, Penny Fent, right over here, and Laura Keith King is not able to be with us today, but she can answer questions as well. So that will be Sunday the 31st at 11:30 in the sanctuary. Workers over billionaires. Solidarity September, protest and rally. This has been announced before. On Monday, September 1st at 9 to 12 at Seville Square and East Government Street, 311 East Government Street. You're invited to come out and stand with all those that are making their voices heard and letting people know that we exist and that we are not happy about the things that are happening in our government. This announcement is just for today. The Stamped Film Festival has taken place this past few days, and today is the last day of it. And it is at the center, which used to be called the Cultural Center at 400 South Jefferson. So maybe after you eat and play games, I don't know if they'll still be showing films, but there is that. And then the Speak Truth to Power campaign at public forums. Will you speak out? Join the Speak the Truth to Power campaign being organized by 50501 Pensacola, Florida. This is so that you can speak, I think, for a period of 3 minutes at Escambia County Commission meetings, the City of Pensacola Public Forum, and the Escambia School Board. The next date for the County Commission Public Forum is September 4th at 4:30. The Pensacola City Council will be meeting on Thursday, September 11th at 5:30, and for the Escambia County School Board, Tuesday, September 16th at 5:30 at the Hall Center. So if you have any questions about this, I know you can talk to Laura Keith King, and we may have some information about this up on bulletin boards around the church. Jackie, would you light the candle for us? We have a responsive reading, so the bold lines are yours, and I will read what leads us into that. Yeah. This is by Brian Keeley. In times of darkness, we stumble toward the tiny flame. In times of repression, we reach for the lamp of truth.
In times of loss, we pray for the comforting light.
In times of joy, we light a candle of celebration. Spirit of life, as we kindle this light, help us to find what we need this day. Thank you. Okay, we will have some centering music, and I've asked that the choir sing from their seats, and I just want everyone to take some deep breaths, fully arrive at the sanctuary and the welcome table here, and breathe deeply and listen.
Is everybody singing it?
I think I just planned for the choir so that people could listen
And the choir will sing
from their seats.
Okay.
Little and small, deep inside all, I hear your call, sing. In warm and rain, sorrow and pain. choir. Our opening reading is by Leslie Takahashi. Here in this place of peace, may we find hope. Here in this place of connection, may we find life-giving community. Here in this place of rest, let the unrest of our hearts turn toward justice. Here in this space, made sacred by memories of connection, let each of us feel ourselves part of the new that grows from the old in the spiraling unity of years. Okay, we have a rousing, welcoming song, opening song that everybody is invited to join in. The choir will come up for this one. And it is number 124, When the Spirit Says Do, and we will go right into our covenant after that. Feel free to dance. was interactive. Love, you may remain standing for our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to speak the truth in love. Oh, well, we do it all. Now, we have a wonderful speaker today who has brought some things for everybody and is going to read from her book. Dr. Jacqueline Garrick, of Whistleblowers of America founder, chose the giraffe as a mascot because their height and long neck gives them a good vantage point to care for their family and community. They are natural leaders who stick their necks out to protect the animals who depend on them. Dr. Garrick will share the story of Ubuntu.
All right, well, thank you, first of all, for having me in your lovely congregation today. I'm just so impressed with the principles that you were reading this morning and some of the words that have been spoken already, because that really speaks to the mission of Whistleblowers of America. We are very much an organization that's dedicated to providing peer support for truth tellers. Whistleblowers are those people who make disclosures of fraud, waste, and abuse and other forms of wrongdoing, and then they suffer retaliation, discrimination, and bullying in the workplace, and that leaves them very often very much with different mental health crises or other types of psychosocial impairments. So we try to provide them with a volunteer network, a peer support. So that's kind of a little bit more about what our organization does, and I'll talk more about the giraffe as we move through the day. But I'm going to invite everyone to join me in our mantra is be a giraffe. So if you have your books and you want to open your pages to follow along in the reading, when we get to the part where it says be a giraffe, I was thinking maybe we can all read that part together. So Ubuntu is a giraffe. In Africa, her name means humanity, sometimes translated as I am because we are. This should be the motto of every individual within every organization, cultures, practices to uphold dignity, generosity, empathy, and mercy. These qualities are the basis of our virtue, character, and morality. It is our ethical code of conduct. We can remember these traits if we act to be a giraffe. Ubuntu stands tall with integrity and has vision beyond the trees. She can see the grass and woodlands of her world. This gives her an opportunity to learn, understand, and decide which way to go. She can run from danger or towards nourishment. She can see and hear what others might not realize, so she leads. And others trust her judgment. They run when she runs. Be a giraffe. Do not be afraid of your vision and your ability to lead. Communicate it to others through your actions. Ubuntu knows where she fits in and is proud of her role in the world. She may look awkward to some and not have the mighty roar like others. She gracefully owns her place among the many. She is mindful of who she is. Others have their vantage point too. She thinks about what they see and what they know because of who they are. She belongs and has purpose. Be a giraffe. Be confident, yet respectful of others. A giraffe may share some features with a horse, a zebra, or a goat. But Ubuntu knows she is not them. she does not try to be like others. Own who you are. Others do not define you, and let them be who they are.
Be a giraffe.
Ubuntu has a beautiful fur coat. It is unique. No two giraffes have the same spots. There is no judgment between the giraffes about their spots. They stick together. Get to know others and learn about their spots. Giraffes are inclusive. They enjoy the diversity of the smaller animals that follow them around and the birds who land on them. Everyone has a role to play and serves a purpose. They help Ubuntu and her family survive. Ubuntu's big giraffe family needs the talents and skills of the smaller animals and birds that migrate with them. Ubuntu interacts with everyone for the benefit of the whole. Each contributes differently using their unique skills and abilities. Be a beautiful giraffe in a world of other beautiful, diverse creatures. When others cannot fend for themselves, do not banish them. Protect them and help them find their meaning and purpose. Treat them with care and compassion. Take time to think about their perspectives. Wana is a small yellow oxpecker bird who lands on Ubuntu. She eats bugs and helps Ubuntu stay healthy. So Ubuntu does not swat away Wana, but carries her around. They are not the same tribe, but they need each other to survive. Be a giraffe. Know your landscape and its allies and its predators. Not every fight is a battle. Strive for equity and justice within your community. Not everyone is able to engage in the same way as you. Respect their strengths and limitations too. They bring a diversity of experiences, cultures, thoughts, and talents. So do not dismiss them what you cannot see. Learn from them. Giraffes are known for their big hearts. It is, after all, has a lot of work to do. It must get blood from head to hoof. It helps Ubuntu be a good mate to Dobie. They travel together and raise a family with the help of other giraffes. There is respect, loyalty, love, and trust between the family. It can be hard to have a big heart, especially when it is so busy. Be a giraffe and show others how to gracefully handle matters of the heart. The tower, a herd of giraffes, leaves no one behind and takes care of the calves and the elderly while watching over the ill or injured. It is a selfless circle. A newborn is made to stand. It falls and is lifted with a little kick with the love of its mother. It learns to get up to survive and be nurtured. Ubuntu is resilient because her tower makes it so. She is to them as they are to her. Be a giraffe and be a reliable member of the tower. When Ubuntu eats, she selects the best leaves, chews, and then digests. She ruminates. It takes her a while to swallow. Be a giraffe. Chew on it before you act. Know what is important and what is not. Have a plan, but adjust as you learn new lessons. Know what you want to accomplish and the goals you need to achieve along the way. Do not get distracted by the ugly leaves on the tree. They do not matter. They will not feed you. Although the leaves of the acacia tree are Ubuntu's lifeline, the other trees and the land around her are equally important to her way of life. Her focus is not limited. She cannot hide in her world, so she must look out at the landscape and watch the horizon. She seeks the things that make her healthy and avoids predators. She eats, walks, and sleeps for her survival. Be a giraffe and identify the important things in your world and stay away from the things that are harmful. You do not need negative energy. Because Ubuntu can see beyond the leaves, she is surrounded by those smaller animals and birds. They rely upon her for their safety and security. She is a good leader. They may not see what she sees. Predators are nearby. She is graceful and silent. She does not roar. She acts. So they believe in her. They have faith and trust her instincts. Be a giraffe. Act with thoughtful purpose, dignity, and grace. When other giraffes must bend way down to drink water and replenish, Ubuntu watches over them. They are vulnerable. They must take turns to drink. They help and support each other to sustain the tower against all enemies. Be a giraffe and let others drink. But when it becomes necessary, Ubuntu sticks her neck out for others and risks injury and even death. She has the heart of a warrior. Ubuntu can use her mighty neck and strong head to throw powerful lions or other predators away from the tower and its flock. She can knock them out. Her tower is protected, her community is protected, the kingdom is protected. She acts with courage. Although she might not look mighty, she is. She is not a bystander when others might be harmed. Be a giraffe. Stick your neck out and do the right thing, even if others are critical. Ubuntu has a big, long tongue. She sticks it out and makes funny faces. She remembers to have fun and can make others laugh. Be a giraffe. Keep a sense of humor. It will help with perspective, even in difficult times. But most days, Ubuntu wants to just go about her own business and eat leaves, raise her children, belong to her community, and enjoy a beautiful day. She roams free and enjoys the fresh air. She takes care of herself. Be a giraffe. Take initiative and be passionate about what you do in life, but remember to take care of your own health and well-being first. Enjoy your day.
Thank you, Jack. This is our time in the service for joys and sorrows. The first candle will be for world concerns. I know that the hurricane and many other things are happening, so that first candle will be for that. And please share your name if you want to come up and share a particular personal joy or sorrow. You may come up however you can get here. This is the time for our offertory. I've invited the choir to remain in their seats, but this is a song. If you would like to join us, you can. If you don't want to, that's okay, but it is Spirit of Life, number 123 in our gray hymnal. misplaced my introduction to Jackie. But I can tell you a little bit because I know her very well. She's my neighbor, and I frequently am over there. She has been very active in forming Whistleblowers of America. She speaks many places, and education is very important to her. So she has a Master's of Social Work from Temple University. She has had executive positions at the Department of Defense and the Veterans Administration, and she has served at the House Committee on Veteran Affairs. I'm very proud that she just recently got her doctorate back in June from in professional studies at Middlesex University in London. There's plenty more, but I'm sure she can handle that.
So thank you once again for letting me be here today, and I hope you enjoy the books and the giraffes. I should mention those are compliments of a grant Whistleblowers of America received from International Paper to provide this Be a Giraffe program in the Pensacola area. So we've been a few places like Pensacola State College, and we've been providing this talk in other areas. So why this talk? And I think I have a clicker for the slide. Yes, okay. And I'll try to remember not to wander too far from the microphone. So why Ubuntu? A few years ago, I was invited to South Africa, to the Johannesburg area. It was Human Rights Month, and it's a big celebration down there. So they invited me to come, and they were very interested in my whistleblowing work. And I thought, well, sure, this sounds like a great opportunity, and we figured out the logistics, and I went to South Africa. And I was going to do this presentation about whistleblower rights and the dignity that comes with protecting those who speak truth to power. And I'm standing in an auditorium, getting ready to go on a stage. And there is a beautiful glass window with the words Mandela Institute etched in the glass. And across from the window was a case that had a jacket that had been worn by Nelson Mandela. And I had that panic attack moment of not wanting to speak out. I thought, oh my goodness, I'm at a university. This is the Mandela Institute. What could I possibly say that would be inspiring to a country that once had Nelson Mandela as its leader? And then I thought about the poem that I had learned from the Bishop Tutu, Desmond Tutu, had used at the close of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And the poem was about Ubuntu. And as I had learned about being in South Africa and this concept, this very, very important concept that I don't think we have the right word for in English. We talk about unity, we talk about being united and speaking truth to power. We talk about these things, but we don't live them and act them in this way. And I remember my friend June, who was the reason I got to come to South Africa in the first place. She had told me a story early on about what does Ubuntu mean. And she explained it this way. She said one day she was driving home and it was raining really hard. and she saw these two neighborhood boys, black children, didn't know their names, but she recognized them. She knew where they lived, and she pulled her car opened the door, and said, "Get in." And they froze. And she said to them, "Umbutu," and they scurried into the car. And she took them home. And that message really resonated with me, because I feel like that's what we do when we speak truth to power. I use the word whistleblower. We talk about it from an employment perspective. We talk about the rights and the law and some of those concepts. But when I was asked, when we were first setting up Whistleblowers of America, I was asked, please don't put the whistle on everything you brand, because that is a shrill, loud noise, and most whistleblowers don't feel like that's what they did. All they did was tell the truth. All they did was speak up when they saw something wrong. So when I talk about whistleblowers, think about the people like John Barnett, who spoke out about airplane safety because of the flying public. Think about the people who keep your water clean. Think about the people who are in those nursing homes and hospitals that are watching over patients, and every day they make sure things are being done right. And when they're not, they speak out. So we have a culture that teaches us to speak out. I was once told, they always tell you to think outside the box. They never warn you about the lid. And when that lid comes down, it could be difficult and painful. And that's why we need to build new moral communities, because that is how we find places like this that encourage us to be a giraffe, to do the right thing, to be a moral community. So that's where this idea of Ubuntu really resonated with me. And I thought we need to bring these concepts that the Africans so understand. We need this here. We need a little bit of Ubuntu, especially now in the United States. So, as we go through this today, and I think you've all gotten little pieces of paper and pens if you needed them, my goal was to ask you to think a little bit more about your own code of ethics and your own sense of morality, because we're all here together, maybe for different reasons, probably from different backgrounds. I meet very few people who were born and raised in Pensacola, so this is a pretty diverse community in and of itself. So what are the lessons that we have that we learn from each other? How do we develop our own code of ethics? And sometimes it's kind of this innate, we grow up, we have a family, we come to places like this, and we start to develop this moral code and this moral compass. But we don't often get a chance to think about it and analyze it and maybe write it down. So we won't have time today to write them down and read them and do a full exercise, but we thought maybe as I'm talking, you can think about, what's my mantra, right? Be a giraffe, truth to power. Can we think about some of those things that matter to us, and maybe make some notes, and maybe you can discuss them another time as a group, or take them home and maybe make this a thing you do as a family, because the back of the workbook, the back of the book has a workbook section that you can do some of this at home and as a family. I had somebody tell me that he bought the book and him and his daughter were reading it and working on her developing her own code of ethics so that she understood how to map this out for herself. So those are the 6 words. We talk about it being a 6-word story. Can you have a mantra? Can you have a story in 6 words? And we came up with the idea that it only needs to be 6 words because, or so it goes. Somebody once challenged Ernest Hemingway, can you tell a story in 6 words? And he said yes. Baby shoes, for sale, never worn. Right? That tells a story. So as we think about the stories we want to tell and how we want to own our own narratives, this is where this idea of building our own sense of who we are and how we present ourselves to the world really matters. And then as we think about this, and we think about the who I am in the world, how do others see us? How do we treat other people? How do we handle adversity? I think is one of the most important questions that we deal with. Nobody likes that uncomfortable conversation, right? We don't want to have to deal with anything that seems negative or threatening. Those conversations of, whether they're at home, honey, you didn't do the dishes, that really makes me mad, to, hey, boss, I think these car parts are defective. Who wants to be the person having that conversation? Those are hard conversations to have. And we are able to have them because we have this moral compass, because we know in our hearts who we are, what we stand for, what we believe in. We act because we know. And the knowing is what has to happen before the doing, because we have to be mindful in what we're perceiving and how we're presenting. And as we think about the who we are and how we present in the world, we also know that there are the people around us who inspire and motivate us. Penny did that today. She stood up here and lit candles and read and sang to inspire and motivate and help heal the hearts of the many. And as we do this, and we do this as a community, in each community there are strong leaders, some who roar, and some who stand tall and stick their necks out like the giraffe. We think about those people when we think about how we understand right and wrong, how we have moral courage, how we have integrity. And as I'm looking out at the audience, I see a lot of head nodding. You all right now probably have an image of that person in your mind. It might be a parent, a spouse, a teacher, a coach, maybe even a boss. Somebody who stood up and did something that made you take notice. Know who those people are in your world, because they matter. Not the negative people, they don't matter. They really don't. Because as long as you stand in your truth to power, you're fighting back. It doesn't mean that you have to be the one on the sidewalk holding placards. Maybe it is. Maybe you're the brave lady who goes to the council meeting and speaks her mind. Maybe you're the student who goes to UWF or Pensacola State, and you silently earn your degree because you want the world to be a better place and you want to be part of making that contribution. That's what we do. That's who we learn from. Again, what do we know? What do we do? How are we perceived? And how do we perceive others? And uplift the others who really do make a difference. And do we tell them that? Do they know how we feel about them? Do we share those feelings, or are we too afraid to admit that we've been inspired by somebody? So these are the lessons I think we learn from those people who inspire us the most. Critical thinking. When I talk about Ubuntu and how she sees beyond her world, I think that's an important message. We can easily be consumed by our own thoughts and opinions and our own emotions, because a lot of what's happening right now are very triggering emotional responses. But do we understand how we got here? Do we understand the other people in our world? How are we including the people we don't agree with? That's a hard ask, right? How do we include them? How do we listen to the things we might not want to hear? How do we digest that and make that part of our knowing? Because once we understand what we don't agree with, we at least maybe can't. I'm not saying we have to tolerate it, but we can learn from it and maybe learn how we respond to it. And that's part of that empathetic and active listening. Listening does not mean agreement. It just means we're hearing people who feel like they too need to be heard. And when I think about the replenishing of other people and other spirits, that's where this moral community that we have in places like this matter. Because we're out in the world, and we're doing things, and we have jobs, and we have spouses and family, and we get pulled in a million directions, right? How many of us have ever thought, oh, there just aren't enough hours in a day? What do we do to feel replenished? Who are those people that feed us versus sap us? And how are we making a difference that makes us feel good about what we do? And it doesn't have to be a big deal, right? I remember Admiral McCraven once gave a speech and he said, get up in the morning and make your bed. Now you've accomplished something. A simple thing. But it's a step. And then you take another step and another step and another step. And before you know it, you've accomplished a lot. And you've taken care of yourself along the way. You've eaten a good meal, you've had a good night's sleep. You've remembered to replenish as an important role, as an important act in being able to think, to know, to listen, to perceive, and to inspire. And then this is probably a more rhetorical question for the 15 minutes I have for this talk, and I know I'm almost done. I'm watching. But in your world, in your life, you've all stuck your neck out for something or somebody, whether as a parent for your children, as a teacher for children at a school, or a coach, at work, at home, here. You've all stood up for something because you believe in it and it's important to you. So those are the things I'm going to ask that you remain mindful of. And as I end my little Be a Giraffe background talk, I am very well reminded that We are in a country that maybe many of us, some of us, might remember the previous eras of civil rights and of the marches and of Martin Luther King, and that we understand, I'm not calling out anybody, but we remember things. We know history repeats itself. We know we've been here before. We know how to fight. We know how to stand tall. We know how to stick our necks out. We know. So be a giraffe. Do your best. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. And I look forward to hearing from you. Those are my contact information. Stay in touch if you'd like. Whistleblowers of America is a small nonprofit. We also take donations. Join us. We have monthly roundtables. Everything we do is virtual. So please let us know how we can be supportive. Thank you.
We're winding up here, and I know you all have a lot on your minds. We will sing a rousing song here, Fire of Commitment. The choir can come up if they choose, I hope so, and you're welcome to join us. It is number 1028 in this book.
Remembered, hands of beacon bright and clear.
closing words are another responsive reading. Hope rises.
It rises from the heart of fire here now, beating with joy and sorrow.
Hope longs.
It longs for good to be affirmed, for justice and love to prevail, for suffering to be alleviated, and for life to flourish in peace.
Hope remembers.
It remembers the dreams of those who have gone before and reaches for connection with them across the boundary of death.
Hope acts.
It acts to bless, to protect,
and to repair. And the choir will sing a benediction, and after that, Mary Beth will come up and give us some instructions for what follows. And Mary Beth, come do your thing. I'm here. Oh, that's tricky.
Quiet, Giraffe. Hi, thanks everybody. If you haven't noticed, we're ready for game day. Okay, just a few instructions. Food is in the conference room, so come out this way and go there and start on the right and then work your way on both sides so we can keep it moving, right? We got plenty of games to play. Also, there's drinks and desserts. Also, the food warmer in our oven is not working. It's been a fun morning. I'd like to thank everybody that tried to help. Ian, Brett, Michael, Joe, Josie, Emily, Patty. I don't know, there's like 7 others. Shauna, thank you so much for trying. Some of them left the dishes in the car, so they should be nice and boiling. But if it's not, we brought a microwave in there. It's in the conference room, so if you need to heat it up a little. But, you know, it's hot outside. Let's eat it cold, as Barbara suggested. So, anywho, thank you all for coming. And, yeah, grab some food and then come back in here and eat and play games. Love you, bye.
All right.